What's going on, everyone? So today we're going to be installing the countertop. Now, I mentioned in one of the previous videos or a couple of videos I'll probably be having somebody else do it, but my guy wasn't getting back to me and we decided we're just going to do laminate counters. It's a small kitchen, not too bad. So we're going to be measuring and cutting the first piece, which will be this corner right over here that goes towards the fridge, and then we'll be cutting the piece over by the sink, putting them together and then throwing them on, because when you do the corner piece here, you'll bolt it together once it's up here, but the problem is I can't get from underneath because of the Lazy Susan. So we're going to be bolting the counter together before putting it on and then sliding it onto the cabinet. So that should be fun. As far as the countertop that we got, it's a black laminate. What's the color on this? Balstic or basalt slate, whatever, however you want to pronounce that. This is a 10-foot miter, and they do sell it in 6-foot and 10-foot miters. And I could have just gotten the 6-foot for this section. However, this piece was only $25. Why? Because it's broken from here down, but this is a 6-foot mark, which means the 60 inches that I need for over here is perfectly intact. And normally a 6-foot piece is like 80 bucks anyways on sale. So I still save some money. Anyways, we're gonna mark this piece. And first thing we're gonna do is measure from the back corner to our measurement here. Mark it on the back. I'm gonna lay a tape line on the front, flip it over, and then we're gonna cut it with the saw from the back end, but the tape is going to still protect the front. And then we're going to set it over here for now while we cut the other piece to length. So let me set the camera up and we'll do that right now. I would say that fits pretty well. Now we're going to go ahead and cut this section. It's about 7 to 8 feet, I believe, but we're going to double check measurements. And I'm measuring from the back corner out, so against the wall. And then I'm doing the same thing on the furthest point on the counter out to the edge. Marking it, taping off the front, cutting it, and trying to stay on that line as straight as possible. Now you can't put like a guide piece with the circular saw unless you feel really confident in yourself in staying on that line. Otherwise, yeah. So let's grab the other piece, set it on the sawhorses, and put this bad boy together. Alright, we're all done. No, I'm just kidding. But we do have to attach this joint right here, bolt it together. And I'm going to set up 2 sawhorses under this side, 2 under this side right in this area. Glue it, bolt it, line it all up, let it dry, and once it's pretty much dry, I'm going to try and slide it over. If I feel that I'm going to need extra hands, I'm going to wait till I have an extra hand to help me put it up on there. So I'll try and do it without somebody else helping me, but we'll see what happens because it's not a big counter. But this is decently heavy when it's this big of a piece. So, but it's looking really good actually, with the black and the white cabinets and the grayish floors with some black in it. It's kind of nice looking. I do have an end cap for that piece, even though the fridge will be there. So let's set this up, bolt it, glue it, and see how it turns out. So, really funny thing, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been wearing a bracelet recently for the last few videos. This is a Leatherman tread. I'm going to be doing a review video on this to come in the future. No, it's not a sponsorship, anything like that, but I will explain it in a future video. But it has a bunch of tools on it, and yeah, it's the right wrench. And I was curious because, well, look at that. This bolt actually fits for this one. I think this is, what is this, 3/8? No. 11 millimeter, right? Yeah. Yeah, this one's 11 millimeter, this one's the 3/8, and then this one's a 10 millimeter. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing a review video on this one, but honestly, I don't think I'll be able to fit this underneath the countertop, but that's just funny that it does work for this bolt. So, all right, back to the video. All right, so the first steps, we're gonna take the biscuits here. No, they're not a edible biscuit. That's just what they're called. They're little pieces of wood that you slide into each one of these slots here, and they're gonna help join the counter to this one as well. So we're just gonna put a little dab of glue on each one before we stick it in each hole, and then put glue along here as well. Put them together, use the bolts to go underneath, and underneath there's these openings here that the bolt will sit in with this metal plate that you'll tighten down, and it'll pull the counters together and nice and flush, and then we'll wipe up any excess glue and level the counters out so they're nice and even. Let's do that right now, and I'll be right back. That all lined up, everything's bolted down nice and tight, and we're just gonna wait for the glue to dry before I start moving it, just because I don't want to break it and what have you, or have to re-glue it. So we'll just let it sit for now. I'll probably end up cutting, nope, because I have my sawhorses preoccupied, so I will not be cutting the piece for that 9-inch cabinet over there. So what we're gonna do is go take lunch, eat some food, come back, and try and move this back on the countertop. So I will see you guys in a little bit here. So I was able to put the counter up by myself. Now what we're going to do is go from underneath and screw in the bottom of the cabinet with 1 1/4 inch screws. And I did have to put these guys on. They're risers or spacers, because otherwise with the lip here you wouldn't be able to open a drawer. So I pre-drilled everything, just got 3 holes in each one. Gonna screw it into the counter here, under here. Well, I got it for the sink. I have one here and one here, and not in the center because, well, the sink's going there. Got another spacer here. And then when I cut that piece, we got 3 holes here, and I'll end up putting like glue underneath that piece to help. So let's get the drill out and start screwing the countertop down, and then we gotta cut a big old hole for the sink. Just threw a bead of silicone around the edge before we put the bowls in. So they say 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch just around the edge, because it's going to press down, and then we'll put the screws / clamps in. Actually, they're going to go like this, and then the clamp over it, tighten it down, and it pulls it flush down to the counter. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. It also helps to have a wet rag on hand. This way, if you get any of the silicone where you didn't want it, you can clean it up right away. And we're going to go underneath and install the clamps, clips, screws, however you want to call them. Alright, so the sink base is in, and this kit, or sink base kit, did come with faucet and drains. So I'm going to throw those in right quick here. and I'll show you guys once I have it in. All right, so got the sink and faucet all mounted up. I have the water turned off because I actually don't have the drains currently for the sink itself, but that's okay. I'm gonna pick them up for tomorrow to put that in, so that sink's all ready to go. And as far as the end cap goes, I'm not gonna be doing that one because I actually need a heat gun. Well, it says oven, but clearly I don't have an oven either. Need a heat gun, forgot to grab it, so I'm gonna grab the heat gun for tomorrow, and also 2 more end caps, because I figured if I'm gonna put that end cap on, I'll put one here and here for the stove. This way it gives it a finished look before the stove goes in. Then we'll caulk everything once all the end caps are in, like the top edges, so they can be finished off and sealed. But otherwise the kitchen is coming right along. It actually looks like a kitchen now. And this is actually kind of funny, the piece from the sink that I had to cut out. It's kind of like a giant cutting board now. But I swept up in here, cleaned up. So that's it for the kitchen, but let me show you guys the basement really quick because a lot has happened down there since you guys last saw it. As you can tell, I have flooring in here now, which means, yep, the floors are done in the basement. And right now the stairs aren't fully finished because I want to paint the fronts here. I want to paint the fronts here, and I'm going to do probably trim along the side. So I'm waiting to do the trim and this side trim, well, paint this and that before I fully finish this with the stair edge. But as you can see, the basement is painted. Okay, you can't really tell because it's still, it looks white and white. Focus. So it still kind of looks white, but the walls are painted, the ceiling is painted, the floors are all done, and it barely looks like a basement anymore. Why does my camera keep doing that? I think there's like a speck of dust on the lens and the camera keeps wanting to focus on that speck of dust. Anyways, floors all done. Just need to do the trim down here. Probably gonna start that tomorrow after I finish the countertops. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Sorry for no funny intro this week. Honestly, I just been pretty busy with the house and work, and last week I had a closing with some clients. So just been running around. Unfortunately, didn't get around to doing a funny intro. Hopefully next week I'm gonna have one for you guys, but if you didn't like the video, give it a dislike, but let me know what I can improve on for next video. And as always, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.